tragedy has befallen my dearest Epcot Center. A few months ago, we did an episode, the Epcot Center Attraction Elimination Game. We pitted all the attractions and pavilions in Disney World's Epcot against each other to get one clear winner. Damn democracy. Most of my choices lost, but anyway. No, I love democracy. Hey, my name is Demos. It's the first part of democracy. But anyway. If you recall, one of the attractions, and one of my personal favorite attractions, an understated, subtle attraction in Epcot, is the Fountain of Nations. It's an enormous fountain that puts on a fantastic, breathtaking show every 15 minutes, scored in music, shooting geysers of water hundreds of feet in the air. It is a centerpiece of Epcot, and shockingly, it made it really, really far in the elimination list. I don't know if that's a great thing for the fountain or a bad thing for Epcot's other attractions, but regardless, today, news befell, and I'm going to quote WDW Magic over here. Disney has announced today, via its official Twitter feed, that the Fountain of Nations will close on September 8th, 2019. The majority of offerings around the area have already confirmed to be closing in phases throughout the final quarter of 2019. No further details have been given, but speculation is that the fountain will be removed to be replaced by a new construction. Plans are expected to be revealed at the D23 Expo taking place in August. Now, TJ, I know that you've been to Disney World, but you haven't been to Epcot. Am I correct in all this?
That's correct, my friend.
So you're probably thinking that we're crazy here talking about the closure of a fountain of all things. So I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about the history of this fountain. Once again, via WDW Magic, which summarizes it perfectly. The Fountain of Nations dates back to the opening day of Epcot, 1982, where it was dedicated by Walt Disney's widow, Lillian Disney. People from 23 countries brought water from their homelands, which was then poured into the fountain, representing the world community brought together at Epcot. Since then, the fountain has been a staple of the Epcot arrival experience, with synchronized music tracks playing every 15 minutes. So as you can tell, there is some history about the fountain. As a guy who grew up in Florida, well, at least spent a lot of my time in my youth in Florida, the fountain has always had a special place in my heart, so I'm slightly biased. But before we go on, I thought this would be a good opportunity to take a look at Epcot Center as a whole and really see how much this park has changed since 1982. Unlike the Magic Kingdom or Disneyland, this park has completely changed its face in the intervening years. A majority of its attractions are either gone or replaced, in many cases replaced by intellectual property, Finding Nemo, upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy, that clash completely with the themes of the park. Really, with the exception of the fountain, half of Spaceship Earth, the ride in the big ball, for those of you unaware, or Living with the Land, everything else, every other ride in this park has been eviscerated. It's almost, when I go back to this park, there's, other than the site of the Grand Ball and some parts of some gift shops and stuff from World Showcase, there really isn't much nostalgia left for me.
When you lay down the description for me, and I've been to the Magic Kingdom several times, just went recently in December with the Nash family. There's a certain part of tradition that you expect when you associate Disney, but based on what you're telling me, honestly, it seems like that the concept of tradition is gone, and it's something that's so pure. Like, for me, having not been to Epcot, but when you describe what the fountain was supposed to mean, you're talking 23 nations, like the 23 Marvel movies. When you're talking the 23 nations coming together and bringing samples of their water, putting it all together, like, that's something that's a unity that this world needs. But then in the landscape of everything that we got going on right now, it is par for the course for this to be shut down. Like, that is just crazy, man.
Now, I am happy that Epcot is getting some attention in general, it really hasn't seen that many big additions in the last few decades. The biggest one of recently, other than Guardians, which isn't even open yet, which I've already said is kind of a clash, in my opinion, of the theme of Epcot, is the overlay of Frozen over a previous attraction called Maelstrom. I think this represents a little bit of an end of an era. I understand that there is, everything nostalgic at one point dies. But I think there's a different nerve that gets hit when it's from a company that specializes in nostalgia and targets kids to build the nostalgia to bring them back. It's like, imagine going to Magic Kingdom and not being able to ride Haunted Mansion. It's a small world. I'm sure a few people would be grateful for that. Pirates of the Caribbean, Space Mountain, Teacups, all these classics. You want to go back to this park to re-experience your childhood. But in this park, it's almost completely gone.
Well, I mean, the thing that's disheartening for me is because just the history of it, man, like, this is a time when unity is something that we should be holding on to. And that right there, that fountain, to me, represents unity. You know what? If you want to take it out of Epcot, fine. Reintroduce it at the Magic Kingdom. It doesn't have to be a huge attraction. It just needs to be something that shows we are all in this together, man. Like, I want to see more togetherness as opposed to separation. Like, that just, I'm not saying that Disney is advocating that we all, be segregated now because they're getting rid of this fountain of unity. That's not what I'm saying. I would hope that they, of all people, building their brand on nostalgia, would still hold on to that one, because one thing that whenever you're talking about the Magic Kingdom, you got that statue of Walt holding Mickey's hand, man. I don't think that's ever gonna go anywhere. So let's hold on to some stuff, bro.
Well, on the positive aspect, two positive aspects. At least you have I hate this. At least you have It's a Small World. They're kind of still putting out that message of unity. That is, until 5 years from now, where it's accused of cultural appropriation, the ride, and it's taken down for being offensive to everybody. But on the other end, we still don't know exactly what's going to happen in the new revamped Epcot. If the fountain is going to be rebuilt somewhere else, if it's going to be represented in some way, in one fashion or another. So I don't mean to be, despite the comic outburst at the beginning, I don't mean to share this as all doom and gloom. But there is, I think you chose the right word earlier when you said disheartening, because that is precisely how I feel about this. I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. Have you been to Epcot? Is Fountain of Nations one of your go-tos? Do you ever take a step outside of Club Cool with your Beverly Italian soda, sit back in the breeze and watch the fountain soar to the theme of The Rocketeer? Let us know. And all I can say is we'll see what happens.